Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is a Wednesday. It is the 29th day of January. It's National Corn Chip Day. I wonder if that has anything to do with that football game that's coming up. You think?
I don't
People
know.
out buying them, getting ready for that. It's also National Puzzle Day today.
I like puzzles.
You do. You're a crossword fan. I printed a crossword out for you and set it on your computer, and then you looked at me like I was nuts.
It's like a 4-question crossword.
Like, what's this for? I'm like, I got it in my email and I gave it to you. So you're welcome, Heidi.
Thank you, honey.
Also, I've got a guest coming up in the program. Going to be talking with Show-PhuongUyenTran, and the coolest story here. Could your family business turn down $2.5 billion? This one did. Her family business had an offer from Coca-Cola for $2.5 billion, and they said no. Got the story in her book. Going to chat about that. It's called Competing with Giants. It's on the way.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A study confirms that a second child wreaks havoc on your mental health. Researchers talked to 20,000 Australians over the course of 16 years. They found that having a second child increases time pressure and deteriorates parents' mental health. So if you're the second child, look what you've done. Heidi, you're a first child, right?
I am.
I'm a third child. They don't even have a chart for us. But I'm one of 6. So
You've got a much bigger family than I do.
Once you put that, you're one of 2.
Yep.
Once you put that, if they had a chart like that, by the time they got to 6, mom and dad don't even care anymore. They're like, whatever, break it. We'll just buy a new one. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At BetterCreditCards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A man in Florida attempted a not-so-great escape when he tried hiding from deputies in a pond. And he ducked underwater like you saw like in a couple of different movies.
Right.
One of them was Rambo. We'll mention that again
breathe.
here. Well, this action movie stunt was foiled when he had to come up for air. They explained on their Facebook page that 36-year-old Daniel Christopher Booth had warrants for his arrest in Baker County for selling methamphetamines. Yikes. Deputies attempted to arrest him at his job at a solar power plant. 36-year-old ran and dove into a pond. Now, we can only assume that maybe he saw one too many movies.
Yeah.
He thought that he could hide there from the K-9 teams.
Jeepers.
He could not. Post read. They quickly spotted Booth when he came up to the surface for air, and then they made the arrest. Booth was transported soaking wet to the jail. They added several comical hashtags, including hashtag not Rambo. Love it. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Doolittle is shaping up to be a pretty costly flick for Universal Pictures. A studio still reeling from the not-so-great movie Cats. They lost dough on that because of its $175 million price tag, and so far they've not brought in hardly anything. They think they could end up losing around $100 million.
I don't know who thought that was a good idea to begin with.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen a preview for it, so I don't know. USA Today, that's a newspaper, they picked what they believe are the best and worst Super Bowls of all time. Since we got that coming up, I believe, this weekend. We are not sports people.
We are not.
But I believe it's this weekend. They ranked every other game as well. At the top, Super Bowl 51, according to this list, with the New England Patriots, came back from a 25-point deficit to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Patriots' comeback is the largest in Super Bowl history and was the first to be decided in overtime. So they're saying that was the very best. Do you agree with their list? I've got a link to it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now, your scoop of the day brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Planters announced that they're going to kill off their iconic mascot, Mr.
so
Peanut.
sad.
I do too. He's 104 years old.
Right.
They're going to be killing him off this weekend in a Super Bowl commercial. He'll be driving Wesley Snipes to the store. And then
I can't wait to see the ad, though. I bet it's going to be extremely humorous.
Don't exactly know what's going on. I am predicting that they're going to replace him with like a grandson, Peanut, or some, cool, hip character. I just got a feeling they're gonna do something. I guess we'll find out. Also in Super Bowl news, in a Super Bowl related stunt, Burger King. Apparently, it's a restaurant.
Yes, I've heard of it.
I've heard of them too. They replaced their flame grilling since 1954 signs on 4 Miami restaurants to flame grilling since 19 LIV. Oh. Since this is Super Bowl 54, it's Super Bowl LIV. They put Roman numerals up. Okay. So that's interesting. Now we're going to quit talking sports for a while. This is a weird story. Florida officials say an 89-year-old woman passed out on Disney World's Space Mountain ride. 89?
What on earth was she doing on that
ride? Well, she was a thrill seeker. Jeez. And then after they were a denture seeker, like, have you seen my teeth?
Oh, my God.
I don't know. It sounds like she passed out. It didn't. Thank goodness she's okay, but it was just a pretty scary little moment.
Oh, my gosh.
Nothing says I love you like a glitter bomb in the face.
No.
This sounds like a terrible idea. Heart-shaped glitter on Valentine's Day. A company called Pranks Anonymous offers a glitter bomb, which consists of a heart-shaped glitter flying everywhere and creating a giant mess of sparkles. It arrives in an unmarked tube. Your crush will be clueless as to what's inside till they open it.
Not nice.
And then you ruin their day because they're covered in heart-shaped glitter.
Right.
I don't think that's a good plan.
No, and that's not going to get you anywhere with your crush.
I don't think so either. It's like, hey, I love you.
Unless you're
like,
sending it to somebody you don't like.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that either. I think the whole thing should be outlawed. Now we're going to get a glitter bomb, aren't we? A runaway horse was found running on a busy main road in Wales. Police were called, but they didn't really know what to do because they're like, the nearest horse trailer is quite a ways away. Passerbys came to the rescue, calmed the horse down enough that it happily just trotted onto a bus using it says a disabled ramp. I don't think that's the right word. Wheelchair ramp. Mm-hmm. So they got the horse to get onto a bus through the wheelchair ramp. I've never seen that. How would you like to be standing in the back of the bus with a horse?
Did he have exact change?
I don't think so. I don't know. An Australian woman shared on Twitter, I walked into my office and thought somebody must have broken in because it looked trash. Turns out the culprit was a possum.
Oh.
Hiding behind the computer, looked very lost. The woman gave him some water and asked wildlife rescue group to help. They brought the little possum a box and some fresh fruit and waited for him to go into the box.
Right.
And then they relocated him. So there you go. It's going to do it for your scoop of the day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're super excited to visit with Phuong Tran, and Phuong is on the other side of the planet right now in Vietnam, and you've got a really cool story to tell, and you just put out a new book, Competing with Giants. First of all, thanks for talking to us. How are you today?
I'm great. How about you?
I am fantastic. Now, this is kind of an interesting headline. It says, could your family business turn down $2.5 billion? This one did, and it's about your family, and you watched as your family told Coca-Cola we're not interested right now in working with you. And they turned down $2.5 billion. But at the end of the day, that was probably a good idea, wasn't it?
I believe that is the right decision. So it has been almost 10 years.
Your family's company still doing okay?
Yes, we believe that we make the right decision. We are very happy with what we are doing right now. So I'm willing to share what the audience would love to hear from us.
That is fantastic. Now, the new book, Competing with Giants, kind of tells this story and a little bit more, too, doesn't it?
Yes. The book is Competing with Giants, and there's a lot of sharing insights about local business, compete with multinational, but it's also about the culture and how we overcome all the impossible to make it possible. Now,
there are a lot of companies and a lot of people listening who maybe don't work for a company that's competing with $1 billion company, but if they're a small company up against a big company, this would probably make sense for them too, wouldn't it?
So in 2000, we are completely zero. So two big companies at that time was Pepsi and Coke, and they are dominant in market share, and we are really like a start-up business for beverage. So that we build the business from the scratch, so you can be very confident how you can compete with billion-dollar business, as what we did.
That is fantastic. Now, when you were growing up, your father kind of instilled some core values in you. Let's talk a little bit about what that is and how that pertains to this.
So right now, the core value is still the key things, and that is how we build our culture. It's not only in me, but it's also in about 4,000 employees in the company. And last year, we started a campaign talking about how the core value lives in their life. And that is where they appreciate one of the most important things about the company. So we give them the environment where the core value is about making the impossible, make things from yesterday. Today must be better, and tomorrow must be better than today. Continuous improvement. So those are key driving things to make us become number one as what we are today.
So what would you say are some of the advantages working with a small business over like a big corporation?
So one of the big things that I share from our experience, yes, there is always fear about like we see a big company, but the most important thing is look at the strength that each of the company has, because that is where making us grow bigger and bigger every day. So do the best of whatever we do and create the differentiation for the customer. That is where we can grow better rather than focus on the company that is too big. I'm so scared.
Let's talk also about one of the challenges, because the country you live in, to have a female running one of the largest businesses in Southeast Asia, that's a pretty unique thing as well, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. It's quite a unique case. And I find that it's not only lucky as the normal word, but I will use the word blessing, since my father is very open, and he gives us the opportunity of leverage the advantage of females and the advantage of male. So what women can do best and what men can do best. So that's where it creates a culture very dynamic in our company. We appreciate different culture, different country, and different dynamic in terms of male and female in the company. But the most important thing is who can deliver results. It's not about gender. It's about the result that we create.
The book is called Competing with Giants. It's available right now. I'm going to throw a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Want to make your sweetheart smile next month for Valentine's Day? Find some fun, matching shirts at funkymonkeyshirts.com. We have a whole collection of fun shirts for you lovebirds.
My wife rocks.
My man rocks.
We also have many silly shirts that will make you smile any day of the year.
My ex-wife was a trophy wife.
Participation trophy.
Find something fun for a loved one, friend, or for yourself at funkymonkeyshirts.com. That's funkymonkeyshirts.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Pringles are not potato chips. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Next time you see a can of Pringles, take a close look.
They're not made of potatoes?
No, you will see the word chip is nowhere on the package.
Oh, okay.
Because Pringles are not made of thinly sliced potatoes. Instead, they're dehydrated potato flakes pressed into their signature shape.
I love that shape.
That's what makes them less greasy.
And they are better than potato chips.
When other food manufacturers complained to the FDA. They can't use that word.
Oh, my gosh.
They changed it, and they settled on potato crisps. There you go. That's what they actually call them in England, don't they? Isn't everything a crisp?
I think
like
so.
all the chips are crisps?
I do love Pringles.
There you go.
I am a fan.
They're good.
I hope they don't kill the Pringles guy off.
Well, who knows? We'll see this weekend. Maybe I bet a lot of people will be having those crisps this weekend, too. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, some news headlines from somewhere in this world. Dateline Germany. A guy in Germany tried to rob a store using a chainsaw. That's a new one.
Whoa.
But he was robbing a gas station, and guess what? The chainsaw had no gas.
Oh, funny.
So the employees were able to just resist and take it away from him.
Oh, funny.
Maybe you should have filled up with gas first. Bad plan. Well, I'm not trying to give you any tips, but either way. Don't rob gas stations with chainsaws or anything. Yeah, it's a bad plan. This has been news headlines from somewhere in this world.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. This was sent to us from a listener, Heidi.
Okay.
I love it when you guys do that, by the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love when people find something online. They'll say, hey, this made me think of you. I don't always get to read it, but sometimes we read. I always read it, but I don't always get to put it on the radio. Right. But this one here, a sheriff deputy had to deploy a taser on his own dog, that's not fun.
Oh.
But here's what happened. It says the sheriff deputy had to deploy the taser on his own dog when the dog bit a cow because the cow scared him while they were on a burglary call. So then the officers used the taser to get the dog to quit biting the cow. He quits biting the cow. That scared the cow. The cow kicked the officer.
Oh, my gosh.
The original burglary call proved to be unfounded. So there wasn't even a burglary. They got out there. You know, the dog bites the cow. He tases the dog. The cow kicks the police officer. I feel like this is like an episode of The Three Stooges. But crazy story. It is definitely today's.
There once was a deputy who tasered a dog. I don't know why he tasered the dog.
It's today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by SingleStudentLoan.com. Bank robber put a pillowcase over his head to hide his identity, but he forgot to cut eye holes in it. He had to take it off.
Oh, jeez.
Matthew Davies stormed into the Bank of Scotland branch. It says he went in with a meat cleaver and a pillowcase over his head. 47-year-old man forgot to cut eye holes in it.
Oh,
so he removed it. He was able to still get 2,000 pounds before sauntering off. And then he pet a dog. I don't know why it says then petting a dog. He was caught when a customer from the bank followed him home and then called police. He pled guilty to assault and robbery with he'll be sentenced next month. So I don't quite understand. And it's pretty cool that somebody was like, you know what, I'm going to just follow this dude home. You know, and they watched him walk into a house and then call the police. That is pretty gutsy to do that. It's your moment of duh, brought to you by SingleStudentLoan.com.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it made up just to trick you and amuse me?
Alrighty.
All right, here we go. Fake news or Florida? Let's try that again. A Florida woman married a Ferris wheel and named it Bruce after she fell in love with it at a carnival. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
It is sadly a true story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. So she named him Bruce?
Apparently. I don't think a Ferris wheel would look like a Bruce.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bizarre name for a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
But what would you name a Ferris wheel?
I don't know, but
Dan?
not Bruce.
I have no idea. Thanks for listening to today's Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. And this is kind of a cool story right here. A stray dog by the name of Sausage gets a little appreciation star for helping kindergartners cross the road. So this happened in Georgia. This dog got his very own house and some appreciation in the shape of a star, rather, for helping kindergartners cross a busy road to school every day.
How sweet is that?
Kupata, I believe is how you say it, the dog's name. It means sausage in English, went viral on social media after videos surfaced of him acting as a crossing guard for children. So he would help this dog. The dog would help people cross the road. They were little kids. It says the Department of Tourism and Resorts recently honored this pup with a People's Choice Appreciation Star, and it's really cool. This is in the country of Georgia, not the
not the
state of Georgia. And they've got, this little paw print in the center of a star.
That's so sweet.
They also helped build a small wooden house in the place where he's been living for the last 4 years. Unfortunately, stray adoption is not very common there. However, the government helps take care of them. Each dog is tagged, and they make sure they get frequent washes and meals. So he's kind of been...
so sweet. I can't believe somebody wouldn't want to adopt that dog.
Yeah, you'd think so. And it's pretty cool. His name is Sausage. I don't know. That's just... Isn't that kind of a strange...
adorable. I love that story.
I love the story,
adorable.
too, but would you name the dog Sausage? Isn't that a
haven't seen
weird...
the dog. If it's a wiener dog, maybe.
No, it's not. But even, no matter if you see the dog or don't see the dog, it's just a bizarre name for a dog. All right. Thanks for listening. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening. See, I knew that came somewhere. We appreciate you joining us here for the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.